Hello, hello. I want you to bear with me tonight with my voice. As you know, I have been speaking every night from the 5th of November. So I want you to bear with me tonight. Let me greet all my colleagues here present, and in particular, Dr. McIntyre, who is going to be re-elected as the Member of Parliament for the Roosevelt Valley. And let me greet the thousands of you who are here this evening to say to the whole of Dominica that we are here to secure the future of Dominica. I also want to greet the thousands who are viewing this live across the globe, and also those listening on Kyrie FM, and also, I believe, live on Mapping TV. My dear Laborites, the manifesto is here. And very soon from now, you will be getting your own copy to have at your home, to read with your family, and to know what Labour has in store for you, the people of Dominica, for the next 5 years. But before we hand them out, I want to highlight some of the contents of this beautiful document. I am extremely happy that I can get in your hands, a mere 8 days after the public pronouncement of the date of the general elections, a manifesto. This manifesto is a special document for a special occasion. It comes at a time when we are preparing for a 4th term in office. It therefore provides a summary record of the major achievements of the Dominica Labour Party since 2000. It also gives a clear outline of the plans we have for taking forward the process of social and economic change over the next 5 years. We have been the change agents for 14 years, and we intend to continue changing things for the better of all Dominicans. I know that most people will not at first read the document from cover to cover. They will look in the contents and turn to the pages that concern them. So the document is divided into about 30 sections for easy reading. This manifesto is a collection of carefully chosen policies and programs. Together, they have the capacity to transform Dominica. Every single topic is connected to another. For example, education is connected to creating wealth and employment. We don't want our graduates to sit at home and wait for jobs. We are creating opportunities in modern agriculture, in sports, in the cultural industries, and in ecotourism for enterprising young people to earn a decent living. This manifesto puts a considerable amount of emphasis on the economy. One of the most important lessons we learned during the past 14 years is that in the new global marketplace, we cannot take chances with our economy. If our economy does not grow, we cannot provide essential services to our people. If we borrow too much money at high interest rates, we could be in trouble. This manifesto therefore starts with a review of the many challenges we faced during the past 20 years or so. The technological revolution that gave us the computer and the internet also led to the financial crisis of 2007-2008. The problems associated with the current recession have affected nearly every country of the world. Luckily, we in Dominica escaped the financial and economic tragedies that brought other countries to their knees. We learned from the mistakes the United Workers' Party made. And from 2000, we embarked on developing new policies and programs in keeping with the New World Order. These policies are embedded in this 2014 manifesto. In my letter, at the front of the manifesto is a clear statement of our policy, and I quote, "Let me remind you, however, that the Dominica Labour Party saw these challenges not as disasters, but as opportunities to use our God-given resources to pursue the vision of a prosperous, peaceful, and just Dominica. We are all united around the DLP pledge to you that we shall not give up our efforts to improve the standard of living and the quality of life of our people. In order to achieve this, we shall continue to diversify and grow our economy, simultaneously making it resistant to external shocks and more sustainable over time. We believe that this can only be achieved by increasing the investment in our human resources, by continuing to educate and train our people to become more enterprising in an emerging, highly competitive global village. Throughout the process, we will act responsibly in mobilizing the financial resources that are necessary to make things happen," end of quote. We knew from as early as 2000, and we know now, that the Dominica Labour Party was the best equipped party to succeed in the New World Order by merging political independence with economic security, prosperity, and social justice. It was also clear that the UWP misunderstood and continues to misunderstand the New World Order that was and still is evolving. From the inception, we knew that we had to stabilize and grow the economy. We needed finance to invest in projects, put money in people's pockets. So we developed a new foreign policy and we made friends with nations that could help us. This investment was carefully spent to boost the economy and create employment. By 2004, the economy had been stabilized and actually grew by 3%. Unfortunately, this rate of growth was affected by Hurricane Dean and the global financial and economic storms after 2008. Despite this, we have been able to achieve modest growth and even increase the social services to our people. While all this was taking place, we developed a series of policies and programs which have already begun to bear fruit. During the past 14 years, we have been able to reduce poverty from nearly 40% to 28%. Right now, we have completed the preconditions for social and economic development. We have built the runway and are ready to take off. We have created an environment that supports growth and development. Dominica is now one of the best places in the Caribbean to start up or expand a business enterprise. When you look at the manifesto, you will see in section A3 the vast improvements we made in transport by land, air, and sea in Dominica. We have improved 60% of our major road network, and in particular, the Dr. Nicholas Liverpool Highway and the Roseau to Portsmouth Road. Upgraded the Douglas Charles Airport and signed an MOU with a private company in China to build the new international airport at Compton Point. We have started the Roseau renovation and Portsmouth enhancement projects. We're about to acquire a ship to export both primary and manufactured goods to neighboring countries. In section A4, we have made it clear that the policy of the DLP is to ensure the conservation, protection, management, and use of the nation's forest resources, while benefiting from the productive capacity of the forest for goods, products, and services in such a way that they are maintained or enhanced for present and future generations. We have also adopted the Low Carbon Climate Resilient Development Strategy of 2012 to 2020, which has subsequently given us access to over EC $100 million to help prevent climate change. Section A5 shows that we have decided to abandon our reliance on fossil fuels to drive the economy, develop the geothermal energy sector to produce cheap, clean electricity for local consumption and export. Section A6 shows how we have been promoting entrepreneurship and micro-business development by boosting the Dominica Youth Business Trust, the National Development Foundation of Dominica, the Employment and Small Business Support Unit, and a National Employment Program to help potential entrepreneurs. Reviewing the curriculum of the Dominica State College to meet the needs of entrepreneurs for technical and managerial skills. Section A7 focuses on agriculture and fisheries and shows how from 2000, government came to the rescue of farmers through the Aid Bank and helped them to diversify farming with the production of coffee, cocoa, livestock, and a range of root crops. This produce will be assembled, sorted, and dispatched from the new abattoir and pack houses. We made it clear that agriculture would remain one of the pillars of the economy of Dominica to ensure food security, foreign exchange savings, and integration with tourism and export. In addition to this, the Modern Agricultural Center, built with the support of the People's Republic of China, will help us to modernize agriculture. The Dominica State College will help with the training of young farmers. The acquisition of a vessel and agricultural trading houses in selected markets will help boost exports. Fisher folk throughout Dominica will be trained and helped to modernize fishing. Section A8 deals with manufacturing and agro-processing. It indicates how the availability of cheap, clean geothermal energy will boost the manufacturing sector. 2 new industrial estates will be built to attract investors. Manufacturing will grow from 4.5% to 10% of GDP. Section A9 explains how tourism will be diversified and developed to account for 15% of the country's GDP. Towards this end, the Tourism Master Plan of 2013 will be fully implemented. Ecotourism will be supported by educational, cultural, heritage, and sports tourism products. The environment for investing in tourism will be improved by reviewing all legislation, fees, and other charges applied to transactions within the sector. The Citizenship by Investment Program will focus on investments in the tourism sector. Dominica will become more visitor-friendly with Roseau renewal and Portsmouth enhancement projects and a new international airport. Dominica will be promoted as a nature island, a health and wellness center, and home of the Kalinagos. At least 5 new hotels in Roseau, Portsmouth, and the Caribbean Territory will be built. The Dominica State College will be assisted in establishing a hospitality faculty. In the area of social services, ladies and gentlemen, Closely linked to the overcoming of the economic challenges are a host of social policies and programs. These are the means of ensuring that economic development is sustained and that the wealth of the nation is more equitably distributed. In section B1 on poverty, I commit my government to reducing the poverty level to 10% by 2020 and to continue relentlessly to wipe out ignorance, poverty, and injustice in Dominica. In section B2, we show how the family will be strengthened by providing family life education in schools and colleges. Communities will be equipped to provide support systems for families. With respect to B3, health, we outline how, from 2009, free healthcare was made available to Dominicans below 18 years of age and those over 60 years of age. We intend to introduce a national health insurance system for all Dominicans in collaboration with PAHO. In addition to this, a new hospital will be built in Roseau. Another new hospital will be built in Marigot. We shall expand the Portsmouth Hospital under the management of Ross University. We shall continue to tackle CNCDs, HIV/AIDS, and the cancers that's affecting so many of our women and men in Dominica. Section B4 on education explains how education with related training is the most important tool for economic and social development. We therefore invested heavily in education and work towards the achievement of universal access at all levels of education by Dominicans by 2015. As part of this major achievement, the proportion of secondary school graduates who went on to the Dominica State College rose from 7% in 2002 to 87% in 2014. In the next term, secondary and tertiary education will be transformed to meet the current and future needs of the nation. Civics, culture, technical and vocational skills, agriculture, and hospitality will feature prominently in the curriculum. What's more, a new polytechnic will be built to provide more technical and vocational training for our young Dominicans. Particular attention will be placed on science and technology. Every effort will be made to ensure that Dominicans have access to information and communication technology facilities. Also, an ICT park with units for training and business enterprises will be established to create new jobs in the ICT sector. And I'm saying to the secondary and college students that come January 2014, every student will be outfitted with a tablet to assist them with their education. The government of Venezuela has made a commitment to provide us with in excess of 7,500 tablets for our students in Dominica. And I know when the workers talk about tablets, they're talking about those by Bullseye Pharmacy. Section B6 on housing records how the DLP created the housing revolution with the assistance of ALBA funds. By 2013, over $26 million was spent on housing, with about 3,500 beneficiaries including the Kalinago people. In the next term, the DLP government will continue the housing revolution. It will replace all dilapidated houses and pit latrines by 2020. Build at least 1,500 new affordable homes. So those of you who are waiting for homes, in the next 5 years under Labour, we shall address your concerns. Continue to train more craftsmen and women for the building and construction industry. Section B7 addresses our youth. We all agree that today's youths are the first fruits of independence and the products of the new world order, the new nation builders. It is for this reason that in 2004, the National Youth Policy was formulated to ensure that young people were empowered to drive the economic and social development of the nation. The Youth Development Division and the National Youth Council of Dominica have risen to the challenge. They have been helping young people to acquire technical and entrepreneurial skills through the DYBT, the Employment and Small Business Support Agency, NDFD, and the National Employment Program. Also, every effort was made to attract young people back to agriculture through the 4-H, to ecotourism and ICT. Moving forward, your government will continue to help young people to avoid antisocial behavior through a wide range of programs. We shall continue to strengthen the Youth Development Division, the NYC, and other youth organizations to channel unemployed young people into opportunities for work experience, training, and employment in fulfillment of the National Youth Service obligations. Section B8 on gender makes it clear that Dominica cannot move forward, leaving a large and vital segment of its population behind. I know that women have been the backbone of Caribbean society for centuries, and they have the ability to transform Dominica. I am saying to you, the women of Dominica, that Roosevelt Skerrit, as your Prime Minister, has your back. He has been there for you, and he shall continue to be there with you. And with 4 highly competent female candidates in the forthcoming general elections, the DLP is on target to give women increasing access to representation at the highest level. Section B9 shows how the Kalinago people of Dominica have benefited from the policies and programs of the DLP. In the next term, every effort will be made to get them to participate more fully in ecotourism as well as cultural and heritage tourism projects. And when we go to the Kalinago territory very soon, we shall outline a wide range of policies that are all contained in this manifesto for the Kalinago people. In section B10, sports, it was shown how sports were grossly neglected tools for national development prior to 2000. Since then, under the DLP, all sports have been encouraged to improve health, create opportunities for lucrative careers in all dimensions of sports, and to help diversify the tourism industry with sports tourism. Going forward, the DLP will build an indoor facility in Stock Farm for a wide range of sports, with the emphasis on basketball, netball, and volleyball. Construct public tennis courts in select communities. Build an Olympic-sized swimming pool in Roseau. Continue to invest in sports by upgrading playing fields and hard courts in every community. Offer tax exemptions for sports equipment as an incentive for more people to get involved in sports. Give more support to sports clubs. Encourage unemployed young people to participate in sports in meeting their National Youth Service obligations. Culture and the arts, B11, will be used more extensively to promote and to demonstrate our independence. The DLP government will also provide training facilities and support to artists to earn a decent living from their talents and boost our cultural tourism. In section B12, public service, it was clearly stated that the effectiveness of government depends on the productivity of the public servants. That is why the DLP government introduced public sector reform from 2005. In the next term, the DLP government will continue to provide training for staff to keep them abreast of changes in technology. We shall complete the expansion of the Public Service Training Center. We shall construct modern government offices on High Street in Roseau and in the town of Portsmouth. All public officers who have served for 10 years or more will be appointed forthwith. We shall increase the remuneration of public servants according to the performance through regular increments. Section B13, civil society, explains that a fundamental policy of the DLP government is good governance, which requires the participation of citizens in the decision-making process, both individually and collectively. In the next term, the DLP government will continue to fund and work closely with the respective organizations to achieve the goals of women, youth, the elderly, the disabled, environmentalists, and other categories of Dominicans. Since the policy of the Dominica Labour Party is that no one will be left behind as the country becomes more prosperous, Section B14, the social safety net, promises that the spotlight will be kept on vulnerable members of society, such as the poor, including the Kalinagos, as well as our children, our women, the elderly, and the disabled. Projects like Chances, Yes We Care, and the Prime Minister's Public Support Program will be expanded and will be continued under the Dominica Labour Party. In section B15, law and order, justice, national safety and security, the DLP government gives a commitment that every effort will be made to keep Dominica a law-abiding, safe, low-crime jurisdiction for both citizens and visitors. Section B16, enhancing the diaspora, outlines the policies and programs that will be used to get more Dominicans abroad to make a greater contribution to the development of Dominica. One of the most spectacular achievements of the DLP during the past 14 years was the development of an enlightened foreign policy. Section B17 shows how the new One China policy began to bear fruit from its inception in 2004. Since then, the benefits included construction of the Windsor Park Sports Stadium, rehabilitation of the Roseau to Portsmouth Road, improvement of housing in the Caribbean Territory, gaining access to an ongoing agricultural technical cooperation, upgrading medical facilities, disbursing flood relief, offering scholarships to students, construction of the State House, the Conference Center, the Commission's Building, and the Dominica State College, and the commitment to build the new international airport, and a commitment to build the new hospital to replace the old Princess Margaret Hospital. Because our objective as a government, my dear friends, is to ensure that new hospital, we do not have to go to Martinique and Guadeloupe and Barbados and elsewhere to seek medical care. It is our mission to ensure that every Dominican can remain here and receive the best medical services any country can afford. Similar close relationships were established with the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, which led to the signing of the Petro-Caribbean Agreement and the joining of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of America, ALBA, in 2008. The benefits that flowed from these agreements included access to low-priced petroleum products, over US $11 million to finance the housing revolution, grants for hurricane recovery, the National Security Program, the construction of city fence walls, agricultural diversification, tourism infrastructure, scholarships, and the Douglas Charles Airport upgrade. We have also benefited from the healthcare and scholarships from Cuba and investments from the Kingdom of Morocco for the Cambridge Hotel, Resort, and Spa. Going forward, the next DLP government will continue to exercise its right to choose partners in development carefully. My dear Dominicans, ladies and gentlemen, friends all, in keeping with the theme of the 36th anniversary of independence celebrations, the Dominica Labour Party calls on all Dominicans, including the public and private sectors, in civil society organizations, in communities, and in families, to take greater responsibility for our livelihoods and our social and natural environment. We shall be taking a leadership role in these changes by creating the conditions for all stakeholders to play their part. We shall continue to be more entrepreneurial and innovative. We shall continue to be the main driver of growth in the economy by increasing government's contribution to GDP. We expect the private sector to be more enterprising and innovative, and to take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves at home and abroad. Your government also expects civil society organizations and community-based organizations to play their part in raising the standard of living and improving the quality of life of our citizens. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, Dominica has made tremendous progress under the Dominica Labour Party over the past 14 years. We have relentlessly pursued the vision of Dominica as a prosperous, peaceful, and just society. That vision is now within the reach of realization. The measures with which the manifesto deals will kickstart the process of economic emancipation that is necessary for prosperity. The established policies of equal opportunity and social inclusion will ensure that the wealth created is more equitably distributed than if left to chance. The Dominica Labour Party is grateful to all the stakeholders in development for their support. But none of this progress would have been possible without the support of you, the people of Dominica. And our brothers and sisters who reside overseas. I am very, very grateful to the tremendous show of support that you have given to me as your leader, and to the Dominica Labour Party, and to the government over the years. And this is why I give a commitment that I will do everything in my powers to create a better way of life for you, especially the less fortunate in our society. We are now on the threshold of making history with a great leap forward in Dominica. But we know for sure that these projects will not continue without the leadership of the Dominica Labour Party. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, on election day, Vote for Dominica. Vote for yourselves. Vote for your families. Vote for your children. Vote for the future of your children. Vote for the Dominica Labour Party. This election is the most important election in the history of Dominica. Your vote on December 8th will decide whether Dominica goes forward or whether Dominica goes backwards. You know what Labour can do. You know what Labour has done for Dominica. And you know what Labour will do and shall do for you, the people of Dominica. So let us not fool ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Let us not fool ourselves. Without Labour being in office for the next 5 years, there shall be doom in Dominica. Because none of the United Workers' Party people have the capacity, have the contacts, or the resources to do what we need to do for Dominica. I can tell you, and I'm not boasting here, ladies and gentlemen, but I can pick up the phone and make contact with the Premier of China and speak to him and say to him that I need help for Dominica. I can pick up the phone and speak to President Raul Castro and say that we need doctors here in Dominica to help us improve our medical care system in Dominica. I can pick up the phone and call directly to President Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela and speak to him on his cell phone and say we need help for Dominica. And I tell you, as I said before, my community day of service was spent in Venezuela. And it was the first community day of service I missed in 17 years in Dominica. And it was spent discussing with President Maduro of Venezuela about our continued relationship with Venezuela. And I got a firm commitment from the President of Venezuela that he will continue to provide financing required to continue the national employment program for our young people. And I was able to secure some 12 million US dollars for the improvement of the ports in Dominica. So Labour has the contacts, Labour has the vision, Labour has the programs, Labour has the policies, and Labour has the money to implement the programs and the policies it has enunciated in this manifesto for Dominica and for Dominicans. So I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This was just an overview of the manifesto. My colleagues, some of my colleagues will speak more to the details of some of the programs. So I said to you, Labour is winning the 2014 general elections. Labour must win the 2014 general elections. And Labour is going to win with a landslide in 2014, ladies and gentlemen. Labour all the way. Labour for Dominica. Labour for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, for the next 15 years, for the next 20 years in Dominica. Because you, the people of Dominica, know that Labour is the best thing for Dominica now, today, and tomorrow, and in the future. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My colleagues will continue. God bless you, and God bless Dominica.